Namsa, a life forged in struggle and grace, dedication to my children, who carried me when I could no longer carry myself. To the women of the Eastern Cape, whose strength is woven into the soil and the songs of our land. And to my grandmother, whose hidden bread and whispered courage kept us alive. This story is yours as much as it is mine. I wish to thank my siblings who endured with me when life was at its hardest. We built homes from rondavels and futures from nothing, and today we stand together. I thank my sons who turned my struggles into triumphs, who gave me dignity when the world tried to take it away. You are my pride, my joy, and my proof that God is faithful. I acknowledge the community that raised me, the elders at Ebolanti, the neighbors who gifted clothes, the strangers whose kindness carried me through. Ngomtu ngabantu. A person is a person through other people. Finally, I thank God, who watched over me in every setback, every humiliation, and every victory. Without his hand, this story would not exist. Narrative Namsa was born in the villages of the Eastern Cape, the third child of her parents. Her parents were never married, and when she was only 4 years old, her mother passed away. Too young to remember her face, Nomsa grew up with only fragments of memory carried in the stories of others. Her grandmother stepped in, raising all 4 children with strength and love. She was a hard-working woman, keeping goats, chickens, and ducks, while working in Port Edward as a domestic worker for white families during apartheid. Often she would smuggle food home, whispering, "Eat quickly before anyone sees." Her life embodied the proverb, ngumtu ngabantu. A person is a person through other people. Their homestead was respected, for her grandmother's brother was Yusubanda, the hand of the king. At Ibulanti, disputes were settled under the shade of acacia trees, with elders sitting in a circle. Namsa remembers crouching at the edge, listening to men argue over cattle and land. "Gubani onalungalo?" one elder demanded. "Let us hear Yusubanda," another replied, and silence fell as her uncle spoke with authority. Tragedy struck when her grandmother died in a car accident. The homestead fell silent, and without her, the children were vulnerable. Clothes became a luxury, food was scarce, and dignity fragile. Nomsa recalls, "I still remember stealing underpants from a washing line because I had nothing of my own." Her grandmother's brother and his family treated them like servants, saying, "You will clean, you will herd the goats." They worked for food, not love. At 15, Nomsa's older siblings had already fled, her sister to Port Edward, her brother to Durban. Nomsa stayed behind to care for her youngest sister. She dropped out of school in grade 7 and went to work in the forests, cutting timber. The smell of sap and timber clung to her clothes. The foreman barked, "Swing harder!" Nomsa whispered to herself, "Umtu akalalwa." A person is never thrown away. It was in the forest that she met the man who would father her children. At 18, pregnant and cast out, her grandmother's brother gave her land, but no kindness. "You cannot stay here. You will corrupt my children," he said. With her partner, she built a rondavel. Mud walls rose, grass roofs stretched wide, smoke curling from its chimney. Her siblings laughed as they smeared mud on the walls. "This is our home now," Namsa told them. "Indlela ibuzwa kwabapambali." The road is asked from those ahead. From that rondavel, they built their future. Namsa raised her 5 boys with grit and faith. Though she could not speak English, she helped them with homework. "Ma, how do you say this word?" her son asked. Namsa smiled. "Try again, my child. Umtu akalalwa." She astonished her son once, conversing fluently with her British employer, each speaking their own language, yet understanding one another perfectly. Her boys grew strong, determined, and focused. Today she rides in their cars, living a life no one imagined for the girl who once wore stolen underpants. Her home is never quiet. She brews traditional beer in clay pots, the froth rising as songs fill the air. Guests dance until dawn, drums echoing against rondavel walls. "Sing louder," she laughs, clapping her hands. Her generosity embodies the saying, "Isandla silamba isinye." One hand washes the other. Like Mandela, Nomsa chose forgiveness. She forgave the man who abandoned her with 4 boys. She forgave the family who cast her out. She even helps them today. "Nomsa," they say, We did not think you would rise so high. She smiles. Akuko kili lazikotha emlane. No trickster can lick his own back. Her story is not just one of survival, but of transformation. Pain became power, and forgiveness became her greatest victory. Namsa's life is a mirror of South Africa's struggle and triumph. From the rondavel to the homestead filled with song, from poverty to dignity, she embodies resilience. Her story reminds us that when hardship comes, God is watching. And when forgiveness is chosen, healing begins. Please comment below and tell me where you are watching and if you love such stories and I can keep them coming.